In every room, there's someone who dominates the space, the loudest voice, the boldest gestures, the center of attention. And yet, there's always someone else, someone sitting in the corner, silent, still, not saying much, not demanding anything, but you feel their presence. Somehow they feel more powerful than the one doing all the talking. Why? Because we've been conditioned to believe that noise equals strength. But that's a lie. In truth, the most powerful people are the ones who don't need to be seen. They don't need to explain. They don't need to react. They just observe. They remain unmoved. And that's exactly what makes them dangerous. Power doesn't scream. It whispers. We live in a time where everyone wants to be heard. Platforms are built to amplify your voice, your opinion, your emotions. But here's the paradox. The more you express, the more you expose. And the more you expose, the easier you are to manipulate. Stillness, by contrast, is protective. It's not about hiding. It's about choosing what is sacred. A quiet person doesn't reveal everything, not because they're afraid, but because they're strong enough not to need the world's validation. In fact, the quietest people are often the ones who see the most, because they're not distracted by the need to be seen. Stillness makes people uncomfortable. Watch how people react around someone who is truly silent. Not awkward, not shy, just calm, just present. They'll fidget. They'll talk more. They'll try to pull that person into conversation, because the human mind fears what it cannot read. And the quiet ones, you can't quite figure them out. Are they judging me? Are they smarter than me? Are they dangerous? It doesn't matter what the answer is. What matters is that you don't know. And that unknown triggers a deep evolutionary discomfort. Because unpredictability is threatening, and silence, true, calm, self-contained silence, is unpredictable. Lao Tzu and the Strength of Restraint. Lao Tzu once wrote, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." Now, of course, that doesn't mean we should never speak, but it does suggest something deeper. That wisdom isn't loud, that truth doesn't beg to be heard, and that real power is in restraint. The strongest man in the room is rarely the one shouting. It's the one who could shout, but chooses not to. Not because he's scared, but because he's in control. Nietzsche, and the will to withhold Nietzsche too, warned of the danger of wasting energy. He admired those who cultivated strength in reserve, those who didn't spill their thoughts carelessly into every argument or debate. He said, "He who cannot put his thoughts on ice should not enter into the heat of dispute." In other words, don't speak when you're controlled by emotion. Don't act when your mind is in chaos. Withholding is not weakness. It is intelligence, precision, power. The warrior who only draws his sword when it matters is feared. The one who swings wildly, constantly, is predictable. The same goes for your words, your energy, your presence. Noise is a form of insecurity. Look at the world today. Everyone is branding themselves, talking about themselves, posting, tweeting, recording, streaming, selling, shouting. But beneath the noise is often fear. Fear of being forgotten, fear of being unseen, fear of being irrelevant. Stillness, on the other hand, requires security. It says, "I am enough, even in silence. I don't need your attention to feel real." And when you no longer chase attention, people start to pay attention to you. Because now you're different. Now you stand out. Not by speaking louder, but by not needing to speak at all. Stillness is focused energy. Stillness doesn't mean laziness or inaction. It's not about being passive or indifferent. It's the opposite. It's intense focus. It's the eye of the storm. It's the archer just before the arrow flies. It's the wolf watching, waiting, conserving energy for the right moment. In psychology, this is called response inhibition, the ability to pause before reacting. It's the foundation of emotional intelligence, and it's one of the clearest signs of maturity. Because when you're ruled by impulse, you're easily controlled. But when you can sit in discomfort, observe without reacting, and act only when necessary, you become powerful. You become dangerous to those who thrive on chaos. Solitude, the training ground of stillness. Here's the thing most people don't understand. Stillness isn't something you do. It's something you become. And to become it, you need solitude. You need time alone, not with distractions, not scrolling or multitasking or consuming more noise, but real stillness. Sit, breathe, observe. Watch your thoughts rise and fall like waves. Let discomfort show its face. Let boredom creep in, and you'll start to realize something. Most of the chaos is inside you, not outside. And once you can sit with that chaos, without needing to escape it, you become immune to the noise of the world, becoming the quiet one. So what does it really mean to be one of the quiet ones? It doesn't mean being antisocial. It doesn't mean being shy, cold, or distant. It means becoming so full within yourself that you no longer need the world to fill you. You no longer seek constant entertainment. You no longer need to prove your worth through words. You no longer flinch every time someone disagrees with you. You observe. You choose your words carefully. You act from intention, not reaction. And that rare presence makes you magnetic. In the end, the world will always celebrate the loudest voices. But never forget, loudness is not strength. It's just volume. The quiet ones, the ones who've mastered themselves, they carry a different kind of power. They're grounded, they're focused, they're dangerous, not because they wish to harm, but because nothing outside them can shake what lives within. And in a world that never stops screaming, stillness is the loudest rebellion.
If this made you pause, if you're drawn to deeper truths and quiet strength, then you're in the right place. Like, subscribe, and keep exploring with us. See you in the next one.